Feeling daunted by the prospect of buying a house for the first time? Confused by what happens and when? Fear not, because here at First Home Focus, in association with Skipton Building Society, we have a don't miss first-time buyer checklist for you. So grab a pen and paper and let's go. Tempting though it can be to finally find your very own home, your first step has to be making sure the time is right. What's the state of the housing market? Is there a good choice of properties in the area you're looking in? And are you in a position to afford a mortgage? Picking your moment is an important first step. Next, start saving for a deposit. Think a minimum of 5% of the property price, but the more, the better. The more deposit you can save, the increased chance of getting a more favourable mortgage deal with lower interest rates. So it's a good idea to start saving well before you speak to a mortgage broker. You might be surprised to learn how many costs are associated with buying a home. First, there might be a fee from your lender for arranging a mortgage. This isn't always the case, but worth being aware of. You might want to pay for a survey carried out on the property you're buying. And then there are legal fees paid to your conveyancer, also known as solicitor or licensed conveyancer. And if you're buying a home over the first-time buyer exemption threshold, there'll be stamp duty too. You might want to use a removal company to shift your stuff, and then you need home insurance from the day you exchange contracts. It's all upfront money that you'll need to have to hand. Next, you need to get your finances in order and clear any debt you can to get your credit report looking as healthy as possible. Now's the time to consider speaking to a mortgage advisor and look at getting a mortgage agreement in principle, also known as a decision in principle. This is an indication of what a lender might let you borrow. It can change, but it gives you a good idea of what you might be able to afford, and many sellers and estate agents will ask to see this as assurance that you can get a mortgage. Now it's time to start the search. Of course, the property websites are often the first port of call, but don't limit yourself. Get to know the local estate agents and make sure your friends and family know you're looking too. When it comes to viewing properties, check out floor plans and Google Earth before you book an appointment, and do a drive-by to check out the neighbourhood. Try to visit at least twice at different times of the day. Don't just consider the property itself, but the location. What would you want nearby? What wouldn't you want? Once you've found somewhere that ticks the right boxes, in the right place, at the right price, it's time to make an offer. This can be one of the hardest parts, but if you've done your research and have a good idea of similar properties in the area and what they've sold for, you'll have a realistic grasp of what's a fair price. Make the most of your chain-free status as a first-time buyer, any flexibility you can offer in timings, and the fact that you're fully prepared. Put this in writing along with your offer price. Once you have successfully negotiated the price of your new home, the next step in the home buying process is confirming your mortgage. This involves submitting a formal mortgage application to your lender, who will then require detailed documentation, such as proof of income, credit history, and a property appraisal. They will assess your financial situation to ensure you meet their loan requirements. Once approved, you'll receive a mortgage offer confirming the terms, rates, and details of any other applicable lender fees. Once your offer is accepted, consider getting a survey done on the property. This is a thorough check carried out by a professional surveyor to make sure there are no major defects that you'll end up paying to put right. If the survey does uncover anything too concerning, then talk to the estate agent, your solicitor, and your lender, as it may change the condition of the mortgage. If the survey checks out, your conveyancer can get on with all the legal paperwork and checks, moving towards the next step in buying, exchanging contracts. This is the moment where the sale becomes legally binding. What's usual before exchange is to agree a completion date. This can be on the same day as exchange, but is more usually a number of weeks ahead. Although it could be months away if that's what suits you and the seller. With the completion date agreed, you can book your removal firm if you're using one. Completion is when your conveyancer pays over the rest of the money on your behalf. The property becomes legally yours and you receive the keys to your first home. Finally, you can move in. Often, this is on the same day as completion, but it's not obligatory. It's your home, and you can move in as and when suits you. You might want to do some improvements before you occupy the place, for instance. Just make sure that you've changed the locks and the property is secure if it's going to be empty at all. I hope this checklist has taken some of the worry out of the process of buying for the first time. Make sure you're subscribed because we have so much more advice for new buyers available. You won't want to miss it.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Move IQ's First Home Focus podcast. We hope you found our tips and advice helpful. Remember, home ownership may be closer than you think, and we are here to support you every step of the way. So please don't forget to subscribe, rate and review our podcast so you never miss an episode. Until next time.